It's mean to hold it against you. You can't help it. It's true.
I love how he just like kneecapped his own statements. Mean to hold it. It's true. So, kids, what do we take for the incremental advance?
Hit points.
Hit points.
Feet.
Inevitably prepare. How have your characters improved in the manner of hit points since leveling up to level 8?
Permanent paranoia.
Invigorated by the forest.
Like the minerals.
Your
Your youthful vigor has been regrown. There are certain problems that Geráck are not going to have anymore, even in his old age.
All the fucking people that say that. Geráck's like, living here's not so bad. I've been here for like 2 hours already. I can get used to this.
I can feel it. Ooh,
Yeah. Wow.
I'm ready.
Yeah, my body is ready. For 6 more hours, 6 more sessions of nut combat.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, level 9 with no combat. Imagine that.
Hey,
That's what epic people do.
and
Talk their way out of shit.
And then it just keeps snowballing. Like, well, then I have to pick up hit points now as my first incremental advance to level 9. We have to have a combat.
I mean, I took a heal spell, so I guess that's indirectly hit points.
Yes.
Wait a minute, I didn't
Heal.
pick hit points. What am I talking about?
I assumed you had changed your mind from what you had said last week.
Yeah, last week I said I would take powers because then I could cast a single level 9 spell, which is awesome, so I don't see why I should do that.
Hit points.
Yeah.
Paranoia, as you said.
Sheep, the best defense is a good offense.
I mean, the
Especially
spell you
if-
cast is an
and-
offensive spell anyway. That doesn't help you in talky situations. It's not like you can cast rituals.
I mean, killing other people is defensive in a way. Right? Preemptive.
Are you sure you don't want to move to the United States? Like, you can...
Sounds very American.
you can make an argument for that better here.
I mean, which one of your neighbors would Germany preemptively attack? Sheep.
You know, I don't know. I can't tell you.
It's a
Obviously, Switzerland, though. They've been building up power for, like, ages now.
It's a secret.
Yeah. Switzerland has been consolidating power for ages.
That's right, they're waiting.
Just building up, though, there's IC.
Yeah, exactly.
Clockwork robots. That's what Switzerland has.
Mm-hmm.
Particle accelerators and knives and chocolate. Ski resorts.
Many of you men have never opened Chardonnay under fire.
I got your clockwork robot right here.
Ugh. Swiss people, huh?
Yeah, that's what the Swiss are doing. Death robots.
Dude, I'd be scared too.
Yeah.
Welcome to the border.
Well, shit, we
Oh, God.
need to invade now.
I don't think I need to invade if they've got that for
No,
defense.
no, not you. We as Europeans.
Well, you can't invade without America getting on that.
What?
You know what we'll do? We'll assimilate.
You didn't know I mean, not even Russia's allowed to do it, but Russia does it anyway, just to spite us.
Yeah.
Like, no bad Russia.
Although they do it on a bit smaller scale than you have in the past.
Tell you how bad you are. And Russia's like, yes, tell me how bad I am. And do it, and they don't stop.
Vladimir Putin loves to hear how bad he is. It's like a turn
He
on for
does.
him. Tell
He
me
does.
how
And
bad
that
I
would be
am,
a twist,
America.
wouldn't it? And he releases like self-biography and like, I really just had a thing for that.
That's why he's
Having
constantly provoking our air force.
International leaders tell me how much of a bad boy I am. I mean, who wouldn't get a kick out of that in a way?
It all makes sense now.
Yes, Mr. U.S. President. Yes, I've been terrible.
God damn it.
No, I won't do it again, please.
That would be kind of funny though if that actually.
Yeah, wouldn't it? Right.
It all makes sense now.
If he actually did that at the UN or something.
Let's do one for old time's sake here. Yeah!
Oh Jesus!
Oh, just 90
Nice.
damage from a monster we fought 5 levels ago.
You guys
Well,
fought him.
at least he wasted a 20 there.
You guys fought him half the campaign ago.
Yeah.
I tell you, my dice are on. My job has been on fire. I was doing some roll stuff to like screenshot to send to a friend, and it was a bunch of D6s, and got like 6, 5, 6, and I'm like, yes, love you D6s.
You just waste those dice, Gryph. Roll all the 20s out of him. Exhausting.
Yeah, well, it was worth it. I mean, 90 points of fire damage. That's like a level 3. It's a level 3 enemy right there.
Level 3 enemy.
He's large, but he's a level 3 enemy.
He's still got like a 50% chance to hit me, and
Yeah.
does like a fifth of my damage with one attack.
That's from the Herder book. That's the Midgard Bestiary. Those are the same folks who are responsible
Midgard,
for...
Viking, devil, clockwork.
That's the same folks who are responsible, of course, for that Deep Magic book with 555
Oh,
wizard
right, right.
spells.
Oh yeah, but that one we're not allowed to use.
I
By
do
my,
we
like-
want to.
Crazy wizard archetype.
I guess that's one of the good things about being the DM. You can use all the third-party shit you want.
Yeah.
Well,
Third
the
party maker said that this feat was fine, so I just gave it to all my goblins. Now they all have stacking wizard levels. Why not?
now the designer for Midgard Bestiary worked closely with Rob Heinzu and Jonathan Tweed, so it's okay. Now that Deep
Well, you
Magic
don't-
shit, though. No,
you
A,
don't
I just
like
heard
it
of it
then?
this past week, and B, what the fuck? Seriously.
You don't like it when Wall Santa has divine meta magic? Well, suck it. NPC gets to have
No,
it.
no Wall Santa.
Well, you know, when you're the DM, you can just make up shit, like giving a paladin an epic tier feat or something like that.
I love how that's Goger's extra guy.
Just an example.
Cheating!
He didn't even fucking hit, right?
Doesn't matter! Doesn't matter!
I told you he took an incremental advance and he was level 7.
Lies! Lies! He wasn't level 7.
Yes.
Just making that shit up.
All right, you win. I'm making it up correctly. Even though I'm
US
telling the
L.
truth, I think.
You think?
It's been half the campaign ago. I think they were all level 7 people with incremental advances, but I honestly could be fucking wrong.
Someday when the campaign's over, we watch like the videos. Like he just like has like a notepad where he's like, "Herder, suck at players. I'm just gonna add more enemies."
Oh no, the viewers have totally seen when I'm like, well, I didn't properly balance this at all, and like in the background, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. They've even commented on that. I've been
Oh,
accused.
now you've broken the immersion.
Yes.
But with more enemies can't just appear out of nowhere. You have the numbers for them, right? How many members are there in this gang? Like, they're not just infinite to balance.
Red
Well,
cap number
the,
729.
The particular example was whenever you guys went to Robber's Bluff and skipped past, like, not just, like, people watching over the roads, but, like, outside guards, because you went straight inside. And when battle started, I'm like, there's going to be some people outside who hear the combat and get the cave in a few rounds. And that's when I added them. And then the viewers were like, "Ah! They were part of the map!" And I was like, I didn't know that the players were going to do what they did.
You
That's
just say
what
you push the
happens.
magic button.
When the players are smart and get another solution, more enemies appear.
Yeah, apparently it doesn't matter then. huh?
Punish them.
Teach them to eat that
Punish
dust.
All of you are assholes.
Of the pain.
You skipped an entire fucking ambush map that I later reused whenever you guys fought the grinder worm anyway, so fuck all of you.
I object to being called an arsehole. I haven't said a word.
Love you
No.
too, Grimith.
There's no... It's unrequited from you, Gryph. I don't return it. That heart is broken. Broken.
Yes.
There's
Like-
a slash
like that-
through it and everything.
Yep. Yep, I know.
Motherfuckers, that's it. You're all fucking
Ghetto.
dying this session. Fucking done.
It's really hard to do. So what you're telling me is that situation is going to happen. So how would you like me to kill you? Says the Archdruid.
I'm just gonna copy paste like 9 Ajaxes in the fog.
Fuck you.
They like
Um,
it here. Don't even try to hide it anymore.
And I have suddenly
Wait, about
developed.
that, how about 2 more?
I do it out in the open.
Yeah, it's like Ajax 1, Ajax 2, Ajax 3. What the shit?
It's a new spell from that 666 wizard spell book.
Oh yeah, Ajax is using that.
First off, it's 555, not 666.
He's the wizard druid. I mean, why not at this point?
Well, you know mirror image, just it's slightly more powerful.
It's just it's called fuck you say.
Takes up his spell.
Yes, the level 9 mirror images are not that 500 wizard spells book.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
makes
obvious.
actual clones.
I fucking hate all.
They're real. They get the spell too. But you just spelling. You just kill
Why
the
do
one
people
guy.
just fucking
before he
quit and do something else on your Tuesdays? I don't want to take this shit anymore.
Yeah. From 13th age.
Now there's Manaki with his axe to grind these fucking monsters in 13th age, I tell you.
You know, I both love it and hate it at the same time.
As do we all.
Before we get started, why don't we just go through this question? The worst monster in this game, whether, you know, because you hated it because of the mechanics or you hated it because of the situation that you guys have faced in this campaign. We'll skip Sheep. We know his answer.
Yeah, skip me, that's fine.
What's Sheep's answer? I want to know.
No,
Red
I'm-
caps.
no comment.
Definitely,
Yep.
definitely red caps.
Mine would be the eviler red cap.
Oh, the crusty
Oh
cap?
no, oh no.
Oh no, no.
No, that's the one. Oh no, that's it.
Oh, I didn't even know you guys didn't see that when I stood there.
I know, that was great vision blocking on my part.
No, no, nope.
Everyone's wondering, like, why is he freaking
I don't want
out?
to be part of this.
I still think we should have fought them. Just Grimith using his mind games on Manaki would make him run.
Mine, the fucking soul flensers. Stupid bullshit stealing my powers and teleporting to the fucking hell. What the shit is that kind of shit?
Just a
Speaking
little
of the
bit.
soul cleansers,
They like appear in the first battle ever, take all the powers, and just disappear forever. There's nothing you can do. Oh shit, well, fuck you.
speaking of the soul cleansers, my most hated was when we were trying to undo that situation when I got eaten on round 1 by a grinder worm.
Well, do you hate the grinder worm?
It was particularly annoying to get eaten on round 1. It's like, well,
That was the grinder worm was a real punch in the dick, in part because you guys were playing around in the Underdark, which I wasn't particularly prepared for that well, because
I'm not prepared for this, so let's just kill the party.
Here we go again.
No.
guys,
I don't mean any of
You have
this.
spent too much time around Manaki with all these bad things that you said.
What?
I think
What do you
so.
mean?
That might be the case.
He's been a bad influence on you.
Manaki, how could you?
And Dark, too. Dark is all full of sass, like, over the past few months. Just Sass-Mouth McGee there.
You know, Grimith, I think you've been doing an excellent job.
Grimith,
Thank you.
you're amazing. I mean, if we're gonna suck up to you, I mean, why not go the full
Yeah,
hog?
suck your dick some more.
So that explains the hard-on. It all makes sense now.
What an
Wait,
incredulous look! It's like, oh, right! That's why! Got the
Wondering that
magic
all
blue
day.
pills!
Oh, fucking
All day, yeah. Whatever we spoke
telepathic
earlier
sucking,
today.
What the fuck is this?
Such anticipation.
It's like, with mind powers!
It's too hot
All the
in my
way
room
from
right
Europe
now
land.
to have all this kind of activism.
Why do we play these games?
I don't know.
I don't know, but we could
Just
always
so
get
much
that D&D book.
Oh my. Yeah.
You know, considering all of the hell I've apparently pushed you guys through this campaign, I know why. I know why Manaki keeps coming back because
Yeah.
he's a masochist. Holy shit, I
He's
look
a
away and
plant
Sheep
master.
moved his camera.
Wild sheep camera.
No, they cannot see my bottles. Run.
So I moved it because I figured I mostly look at this monitor, but now I'm looking at this one, so the result is exactly the same. So
I don't have a problem.
I like my other side more.
And for Gryph, all we have is a loading screen as the webcam tries to
Oh,
initialize.
I have him.
I see
I
Gryph.
can see Gryph,
Oh, well.
He's waving.
with his enormous microphone.
The
Well,
problem is there are too many of you using this now, so
we
if
go.
I actually maximize all
Oh,
the people
well
using these pictures,
then I'm the
they're
one
tiny.
who gets to enjoy the load screen then.
Oh,
This is a much better image for all of you.
there are too
Oh, that's
many
very
of us,
helpful,
Manaki.
Griff.
Do you want me, Manaki, do you want me to go up, turn my light on so I can turn my camera on as well?
No, then I might as well not have any of you.
Gryph, disable it and re-enable it.
Oh, there we
Okay.
go. Now we have Grimith as like a twirly thing.
Yeah, I've got them both as 12s.
It's fine though. It's
Wonder
fine.
why.
It took me quite a while to load Grimith, though, if I'm honest.
Twirling. It'll be fine.
You think Guru takes up more bandwidth?
Yes, I take up more bandwidth. Well, I am busy trying to do other things, like host this server for people who don't actually want to play my game.
I'm in the game.
Yes, you are,
We
Griffin
don't
God.
want to play. Words in my mouth.
You didn't know? Well, now you know. Alright.
I'm in the game, question mark, question mark.
So, welcome back to 13th Age, everyone, for our 41st session. I started our group IM on Sunday, March 8th, 2015. We have been chatting about this campaign for a year now. Go team!
Yay!
Yay! Last session, you five chose to escort Superior Teraptus to the Wild Wood. From what you've been told, Teraptus is here to speak before the Druidic Conclave in the hopes of brokering a deal between two icons. He feared for his safety, and rightly so. The Archmage and the High Druid execrate each other. They loathe. They despise. Their philosophies are radically different, diametrically opposed. Archmages past have crushed nature, bound it in chains, sealed it in law. High Druids usually work to shatter this bondage and break the Empire into pieces. With mixed results, typically the Archmages have been stronger than the High Druids. There have been exceptions for both sides over the ages. There's been a number of times where there's not even been an Archmage, because no one's strong enough to hold the position for decades or even centuries. But that is not true today. Twice before this session, I told you all to consider how your characters feel about this topic, about issues that matter to druids, about this nature versus civilization. After all, you're going to meet the High Druid herself. She is brutal, aggressive. She has held her post for a relatively short time, but she's the strongest High Druid to exist in ages, at least according to what, the peasants and even historians talk about. Her power brought a resurgence of life to the land. She renewed the earth, filling once empty mines with minerals and ore. She has actively worked to destabilize civilization, and many have wondered when, not if, but when, she would officially declare war on the Empire. So, let us focus now on your characters. The five of you, along with Priestess Aurelia, are being escorted by a group of butterflies who speak by rubbing their wings. You are led from Teraptus' scowl, beyond curious eyes of man and animal, who see you all as outsiders. You are being guided, supposedly, to an audience with nature's champion. As your boots crunch on the forest floor, as you behold the majesty of a forest in spring bloom, with none of the taint of the unnatural cold, what is going through your mind? And if it's internal screaming, that's fine too.
Tempus will be incredibly nervous. This is not something really to take as a token gesture. We are meeting one of the most powerful things in this world. And we're going to talk to them. Tempus is trying to wrap his head around just how powerful this person is, and is coming up with a blank. In his head, it's just unknown number or exceeds expectation. Just Tempus can't comprehend what he's going to come to meet. So It's probably looking like he's having a sort of mental breakdown. We're trying to comprehend this.
With Tempus's limited connection, basically, he has some affiliation and time spent with the Archmage. Certainly he would know, beyond those things that mentioned, that all druids have some connection to the High Druid. Just like how all necromancers have some form of connection to the Lich King. The High Druid basically acts as some sort of intermediary for druids to receive their power. Now, there may be a few druids who don't really connect with the High Druid, but those would be the exception rather than the rule. This new High Druid, she's a half-elf woman. She rose to her post only a short amount of time ago. It's a handful of years, maybe a few decades. None of you have exactly kept track of the exact year. She has made big sweeping changes. She's the first High Druid in ages to have her home base within the boundaries of the Empire, and the Wildwood certainly counts as being within the Empire. She is an intermediary for all of natural forces who would love to break free of the Archmage's wards. She, again, as noted before, her power and the resurgence of nature has replenished the earth. Dwarven mines for a long time used to sit hollow and empty. That's why the Dragon Empire pretty much said, you dwarves can have your ancestral lands, whatevs. And then they refilled with minerals and shit, and the Empire's like, fuck. In essence, that's helped a confrontation between dwarves and the Empire, and Tempus would know a few things about dwarves.
So in a kind of strange way, the druids helped the dwarves, then, by accident, I guess.
Perhaps by accident.
Will Tempest feel that he's a sort of anathema? He has a construct, sure, he's sentient, but he's not, technically speaking, a product of nature.
Perhaps he would feel some discomfort in that regard. He would also undoubtedly feel discomfort due to the fact that he has obvious positive connections with the Archmage's organization, and the Archmage and the High Druid are oil and water. Their organizations usually toe the lines of their icons, barely tolerant at best. Unique examples would be like Forgus, before his death, who tried to establish connections with both the Archmage and the High Druid that weren't negative, and, he's dead. So, good example, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're all loading icons. Woo! Maybe, you know what? Maybe we can stop and restart the call, and then maybe everyone will no longer be a loading icon.
Sounds good.
We could do that, but someone who isn't me should probably host.
There you go.
I can do it.
Manaki
Okay.
can host. Excitement, fun times, everyone. Do. This is what. Oh boy. Let me just pause the video.
Every other time we tried, it was deafeningly loud, but when we get sheep, it's just a nice volume.
Yeah. It's cheap with the hybrid Skype.
There's probably some macro.
I don't even know why my Skype works.
Well, sheep, you can never miss a session for the
Some
rest
of that
this
magic
campaign.
coding right there.
Otherwise,
It's all those macros.
Otherwise, I guess I'll have to host because, neither Dark nor I could join. But Skype was only scolding Grimith and not Dark.
I'm immune to the scolding.
I need to talk to Grimith in the future. Just have to invite sheep. Just sit there.
Oh, shit.
Well, or you people could all switch to the old Skype like I did. I said, "Fuck you, update. I'm getting the old Skype again."
Or I just haven't updated.
Or you could use something else like Discord, which is all free and is more stable. But then we wouldn't have our beautiful pictures.
No!
I know.
And beautiful they are.
What's the point of life?
What is the point of life? Right, well, I'm glad we got started early so that we could have that moment. Where were we back to? Let's ask the question again. We had Tempus's answer. As your boots crunch on the forest floor, as you behold the majesty of a forest in spring bloom, what is going through your mind?
Well, Aranas is rather sort of excited, but not sort of in a wild and uproary. More that he has sort of a maybe a slight bit of anxiety, a little bit of a nodding in his chest. He generally supports what the High Druid is about. He has a friendly relationship with the High Druid, a positive relationship. And if it came down to it, he would support their way probably over the way of the Archmage. He is also sort of family to the High Druid, which is on a more personal note, makes him perhaps a little more. It could go really bad or it could go really well. Maybe when he was a child, he had an idea of what she would be like. He's never met her. And, well, he doesn't really have a notion of what kind of person she is going to be. Now, about the whole icon, well, he kind of has been close to one for quite a bit of his life, which would be his mother. So as power struck as he is, he certainly understands that this is an individual to be respected and maybe even feared. But he's not as sort of awestruck as perhaps some of the others are. He has lived at court for quite a long time, and there have been lots of people much more powerful than him. Generally, all his life, and still probably. But he's excited and quite a bit curious to figure out how this is gonna all go down. Also a little afraid that the others are gonna mess something up. Their judgment faulty in the past.
No.
Yeah.
Well, as for Aurelia, she is, well, really more of a city civilization person, although not really by choice. So she doesn't really know if she had to choose between a world dominated by nature or by civilization, what she would really prefer. In this particular situation, the High Druid really mostly is just a means to an end, in a sense. There's a threat, and that threat needs to be defeated, and the Empire itself isn't really able to do that. So it would be nice to have both of them on the same side, even though she doesn't really care for either too great of a deal, at least. Meeting in the High Druid herself, rather, it wouldn't be so much fear as it would be concern. People with a lot of power, at least to Aurelia's mind, also like to use and show off that power and might not care for the little folk too much, in a sense. And also just wanting to meet essentially the chosen diplomat's bodyguards rather than the diplomat himself, or the emissary, which would be Tereptus, is a bit odd, to say the least. So there's a lot of concerns. But maybe everything will be good. Maybe she's a good person, and maybe she already recognizes the threat that the Free and the Lich King, I suppose, pose, and maybe she's like, yeah, sure, I'll join you, or something. Or isn't really sure what she's expecting.
Well, Geráck feels a bit unsure of the future, what it will bring and so on. He wants to avoid a war between the Druids and the Empire at all costs, basically, because that would be devastating and would only serve to empower the Lich King even more. He would rather that the Druids and the Empire make compromise and join forces in defeating the Lich King. However, if it came to war between the Empire and the Druids, he would probably stand on the side of the Empire.
This stance does sound familiar to the one that Farkas had, Goger.
Well, they
Not
have
that-
some similar interests.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, just merely noting that I recall that being what Farkas had in mind at campaign start.
Sure. I would say Fargus would certainly have had stronger feelings about it, but that kind of is the stance that Geráck has now as well.
Okay.
But it's more of a case of now we really need to band together to stop the Lich King than, him. Yeah.
Okay. Dark, honey bunny, snuggly bear.
Yes, Grimith Senpai? Well, Jasmine, as she's walking along here, there's a few things going through her head. On one hand, part of her is nervous. This is a big occasion. This is not something which she ever expected to have happen. But she's not going to let herself be intimidated by this. No. She's climbed up obstacles which she thought was too big before, and, well, she doesn't, she's most firmly on the Empire's side here, but she realizes if this Empire is going to survive, simply trying to toss aside the High Druid is not going to keep working. Compromises will have to be made, and something will have to be done to ensure the peace, or else there may not be another age to come. And with that, she is determined to try and get some kind of cooperation, and hopefully a future for everyone she cares about, especially those in Newport.
All right. What did you think might happen to the people in Newport?
Honestly, she doesn't know, which is the problem. She doesn't know enough about the Druids to reasonably say what would happen to them.
You, on your way into the forest, you had encountered, or at least signs of refugees who actually fled from, the farms and, the hovels and villages into the wild wood onto the outskirts to escape from the winter.
That is true enough, and while they seem to be doing okay, that's a few people, not a overflowing metropolis. How will the Druids handle that? She honestly, for as much as she wants to trust them, she doesn't know enough. This has never been a thing she's been invested in. Never a thing that's come up before until, well, all of this has begun. She was a soldier, not a diplomat.
Night falls. The butterflies have been leading you for what feels like hours, and most likely has been, so you, 5, plus Aurelia, and the butterflies have had plenty of opportunity to get reacquainted with each other, if there's anything you'd want to say, while crunching your way through the trees. Dim lights guide you along your path, soft greens and yellows from firefly larvae. The earth is rich with renewing light, and the trees are flush with leaves and flowers. The air is thick with pollen, and Geráck, that pollen has completely covered your beard.
At least I can smell it.
What color is the pollen?
It is yellow.
Geráck will constantly try to, groom through his beard with his gloves and try to get as much of it off as possible.
Walk around his hair like...
I'm imagining we turn around and you're just yellow.
Yes, it does certainly get over, you all as well, and your clothes. It's almost as if it specifically congregates more so on Geráck's face.
This voice is having anything for me.
But hey, at least it invigorated you and gave you more hit points.
Exactly.
Aranas runs his
Pollen
hands
armor.
over his
Pollen armor.
smooth chin. Okay, Geráck, the pollen landing like stardust across him, slightly, just glittering on the pale surface.
Yes, the dim lights coming from the tree bark from the insects certainly helps to cast that shimmering, ethereal glow as well. The narrow, winding path through the trees abruptly ends with a small clearing. You hear the sound of water giggling down a swift stream. The butterflies rush ahead of you, their dazzling wings catching light from the stars above. The insects settle upon the shoulders of a cloaked figure who is already turning towards you. Physically, she isn't much. She's a thin, young bundle of tanned skin beneath well-worn leather and hide. Oblong eyes stare from beneath a protruding forehead. Her wide nose and thick lips are curled in a sneer. A veiny, calloused hand hovers around the wrapped hilt of a long knife. She appears like a vagabond, like one of Newport's refugees, if one of them had antlers protruding from the tops of their heads, which she does, which is certainly not a feature half-elves are known to have. Any half-elf, really. And her face is so hardened. Light is caught from, the trees and from the moon above, showing a merciless and predatory face.
Tempus's mouth is dry.
Aranas will walk towards her. How is her posture?
She has a muscular grace to her, even while standing there, as if she is ready to pounce, as a predator would.
All right. It's threatening.
It is not overt, but Aranas has spent enough time to at least see the similarities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll walk forward and respectfully stop sort of a good distance, and he will sort of kneel before the high druid, acknowledging that he is in her domain and under her authority at the moment. He will not do it too long, however, before he stands up, probably thinking that maybe she's not too much into such.
She does
shows.
not appear to have an opinion. She might be apathetic towards Aranas' action. Is there anything the rest of you would like to do before she says something, as you're entering the clearing?
Well, Aurelia would certainly recognize the predatory and maybe even stance suggesting that she very much knows to defend herself and knows how to subtly show it. So she would do what she would do if she met someone who wasn't the Hydra who did the same thing, and make sure that she essentially shows her hands, kind of crossing them in front of her, so that there's no misunderstanding that she might be trying to pull a weapon or something. Pretty much openly showing that I'm here to do no hostile action.
Okay.
In a sort of subtle gesture.
Funny that Aurelia would want to show that she's not pulling a weapon, considering the fact that she seldom pulls weapons.
Well,
she is a weapon. Hide in a corner.
I do find amusement in it.
You must hide your fists.
But even so, a sort of relaxed stance, no muscle tension that would probably show a readiness to pounce. Quite the opposite.
Geráck would also take a few steps forward. He will also remove his helmet and bow towards the Hydra.
Jasmine spends a second to look over the figure, assessing almost, before...
Could I take her?
Not quite what she's thinking. But, regardless, after a short time of looking over, we'll have Mia really briefly leave her shoulder. She will go ahead and give though not a complete, but a partial bow, acknowledging some respect at least.
Aurelia will lower her head in deference at the High Druid. As for the High Druid herself, her thick lips open. I seldom grant outsiders an audience. Even then it is through intermediaries. After those outsiders prove themselves worthy of my answers, I have skipped such with you. I am mostly curious. You are not welcome here. And her eyes fall straight on Geráck. You are far from any monastery, Paladin. Have you lost your way? What brings you into my domain?
All of us here has traveled together for a very long time. And I tend to stick by my friends. And in all their decisions. We are here because we were asked to by a certain Lord Teraptus. And
I am
we
familiar with Pertinax's lapdog, yes. You have some care for him, then?
We have common enemies.
Are you not capable of independent thought yourself? You follow along with the companions with whom you've spent time traveling, then, Paladin?
This was not the first option I would have picked, but this was something that I think was very important.
Her eyes shift from Geráck to Jasmine. And you, Imperial Cow, have you come to grovel for mercy?
Jasmine raises her glance up. Meeting the gaze. Though she does not allow herself to be phased. Just keeping her same dignified, a really large amount of grace, but with an odd smile at that remark. Grovel, no. Though I've come for, well, reasons more than just simply asked for protection. For as much as the Empire and the Druids have been at odds, I do not seek more conflict.
Her eyes shift to Tempus. And you, Metal Man, why do you disturb my floor with your footsteps?
Honestly, I'm quite surprised I wasn't taken and torn. I feel like I'm very unnatural here and very uncomfortable. But the desire to come here surpasses my discomfort and potential doom. I'm here with my comrades that have kept me through. I also traveled through your woods years and years ago, multiple times. And while I am more affiliated with the Archmage, more because they are more comfortable with my type of being than yourselves, no offense is meant. But I am here under a greater purpose, under the guise of helping, well, to cut it short, save the world and find a mutually beneficial way. And hey, I'm not dead yet, which, thank you for not tearing me apart. It's much appreciated. I quite like my limbs on my body.
You are better than a rust monster abomination, Metal Man. Your creation is not your fault. And you have lived well for what
Tempus.
life you are able to manage.
Tempus looks genuinely surprised by this. Not bluffing, genuinely surprised and dazed.
Her eyes shift then from Tempus to Aurelia. The oblong eyes narrow. And you? What are you waiting for? Surely you have something better to do than come all the way out here, Urbanite.
Really gives a slight smile. It says, I suppose I could find many things I could do instead, but none would get me any closer to what I need to do. The world is in danger, but that is my second priority, as it were. What I'm looking for is assistance against the Lich King and the Free. The Empire itself is not strong enough to do it. It will fall against the combined forces of the two. I believe that with the assistance of you, that might be different.
And, following along with that, scaly one, why would the Druids care about helping the Empire after everything the Empire has done over the ages? You may know something of oppression?
One could say that, yes. I believe that if the Empire falls, the Druids alone will not be enough to oppose both the Lich King and the Free.
She,
Besides, I am also here to make sure that a certain lapdog, as you called Teraptus, of the blue in particular, does not manage to succeed in whatever plans the blue has made for him.
Well put. She, the High Druid looks over towards Aurelia. The sneer, condescending expression on the High Druid's face softens, and she says, I heard about what happened, Aurelia. I am sorry for your loss. Aurelia does not reply. The High Druid's face hardens quickly, then, as she looked towards Aranas. And you, nephew? I've not been visited by family in some time. Have you come bringing a message from your mother, perhaps? Something I should know?
Aranas will turn his head slightly and says, I have not. I have come here upon my own accord. I am intrigued to meet you, though we are somewhat distant kin. That is not the reason for why I'm here.